you can go down the other route of like, you know, what we class as selling your soul, and which is really selling your morals.
It's an interesting thing, that, because like being in this industry, that I'm guessing in the rap game as well, there's so many forces that kind of pull you or trying to lure you in different directions. Of like, there's the part is like, you know, if you just don't say this, you could be so commercially viable. Why aren't you and you're like, yeah, but that's not who I am, and that's not what I want to talk about. And once you start going down that route, it's gonna be hard to come back. You know, the slippery slope argument. But there's something for that. Once you justified selling your soul once, it's gonna be easier to do it again.
And this is why I keep my faith so intact. And there was one thing that my mum said to me actually when I was younger. So my parents are very religious.
Right.
My dad's a deacon in church.
Right, okay.
You know.
Now the lyrics make sense.
Yes. So back home as well in Congo, like he used to be very involved in the church. He used to preach a little bit as well. And my mum's also very involved in the church currently as well. So they're big on church. Big on religion. They're probably at church today as well. But there was something that my mum said to me once when I really started doing quite well in music and doing shows and stuff, and she was like, if they ask you to sacrifice me, be careful. And I was like, whoa, to sacrifice you? What do you mean? You know, and obviously, you know, some people call it conspiracy, whatever you want to call it, but...
And I mean, there's all sorts of theories out there, I'm aware of that.
All sorts of theories. Doesn't mean they're all true, but definitely tying that in with the selling your soul. Why exactly do we call it selling your soul and not selling your morals or selling your principle? We call it selling your soul.
I think it's a self-esteem thing.
It's a self-esteem thing, but it's also, your soul is spiritual. It's not like an ideology type of thing. Like, it's not like a principle is in your head, you can change it. Morals in your head, you can change it, kind of thing. Maybe morals in your heart, whatever you want to call it. But your soul is like, it's
your essence, who you are.
It's who you are. Even if you don't want to believe it, your soul is your soul, you know. And
I mean, and most of the time there's people that have done that and then came out at the end and going, I fucking regret doing that. I'm going back to who I am.
Definitely.
And I renounce it.
Definitely. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I keep my faith so strong, because I want to be able to recognize moments where I'm like, this doesn't feel right to my soul.
Yeah.
It might sound nice, like, hey, Pac, sign this contract for 30 million, right? But you have to do XXX. You know, and I want to be able to be like, ooh, 30 million sounds great.
Yeah, you know,
I love that.
And it starts becoming a thing.
Fine print seems dodgy. I don't want to fuck a goat. Like, why do I need to fuck a goat to get 30 million? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of shit, obviously, we're being quite...
I mean, you know, if anyone's got a contract, like, at least let me read it, do you know what I mean?
Hey, you fuck a goat.
Nobody's
30 million? I know a lot of people that fuck a goat for 30 million.
Like, bro, you know, like, when you, I don't know, like, I come from bumfuck Romania, you know what I mean? I come from a average-sized town in Romania. My parents, you know, working class people. We had a single bedroom house with not even a working bathroom. Do you know what I mean? Right. That's where I come from. So sometimes the thought of like 30 million would fucking change a lot. You know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, of course, there's people that might be listening to this thinking, oh well, this guy's talking from a place of privilege. He lives in, you know, a first world country, and he's got running tap water, and he's got, you know. I'm aware of how grateful, how privileged I am, you know.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, if I was still living in Congo, I would not be in these positions.
Yeah.
I would not be able to be like, oh, I'm a rapper, and then at the age of like, in primary school, be like, I want to be a painter.
Yeah.
Next day, be like, actually, no, I want to be, you know, an astronaut. You know, yeah, that's what I'm gonna be. Then the next day, be like, actually, they're not that good. I'm gonna be a rapper. You know.
Yeah, I had that chat with my dad, and I'm guessing that would be the same in Congo as well. It's like if I told my dad that, like, I don't know, I was quite young. Of like I was fancying music at the time, and I was like, I want to get a saxophone so I can learn how to play the saxophone. My dad was like, if you think I'm gonna spend the fucking money, you know, and I was like, oof, okay, you know.
Yeah, because it's deep with them, because they're like, right, like,
because they've struggled, and a lot of the time it's right but it's wrong, right? So it's right because they're teaching you principles and how to value things, you know, value money, especially because they didn't have it. But sometimes it's also putting a threshold on you. I've kind of had to deal with that as well, like feeling like, oh no, I need to be in education and I need to, you know, work a normal job because my parents weren't able to do that in this country. So all they want from me is go university, find a great job, do that for your whole life, and you're set, and then you can take care of everyone, And I'm like, hold on. It's like, hang on, when did I sign this contract? You know what I mean? When did I step into this?
They're like, you signed this contract when you were born, and I was like, hey, bro, that's not legally binding. Like, what's going on?
No, that's your contract.
It's your contract, you know. So it's understanding that kind of thing, but taking both from it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm talking from a place of privilege. So for me to say, oh, I wouldn't do that for 30 million. Like, excuse me. Like, come on. Like, me do that for, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people in third world countries that will kill. That would do that times 3, kill you.
But it's sometimes,
you know what I mean?
But see, sometimes it's not as graphic as kill someone for 30 million. Sometimes it's
really subtle.
Just don't talk about this.
Just
why do you gotta bring up this war? Why you gotta talk about human rights? I mean, come on. Just keep, just hush. It's simple as that. It's not big things. No one's coming to you of like, I mean, unless Diddy. You know, it's like, you come into my party, here's some baby oil. Do you know what I mean? But most of the time it's just 500.
Like, this is strange. What, 1,000? Okay, something's going on here.
Well, it's most of the time it's simpler things you're being asked. You know, it puts it into perspective. The sales pitch is a lot better. It's easier to swallow. But the next thing you know, you did that, and then now you've started on this path. And
now it might get a bit more crazy and graphic, but no, definitely.
And it was like Rob Schneider, who, you know, he's one of Adam Sandler's pals, a comedian guy.
Bongo.
No, I mean
Rob Schneider. Yes.
I grew up watching him as a kid. I don't know. I probably don't agree with his politics at the moment, right? But he said something about how somebody was like, because he's been outspoken about his political views, as much as I disagree with them, and somebody was like, well, okay, I mean, you're doing all this, but is it fair on your daughter to be carrying this fight with you? And that was like,
it's a bit of a low blow.
That you know, but that kind of that's when a lot of people go, hang on, now my, you know, like you start worrying, and that's a battle. You got to ask yourself, am I gonna pick this battle? And that's quite often that's how they get you. That's how I'm gonna make your life easy. I'm gonna make your family's life easy if you just don't talk about this. If you just ignore this. If you just turn a blind eye. If you just shut up and dribble. Put it that way. So man, there's definitely a challenge sometimes, and sometimes just internally, but.